This man won $1 million while cheating on a TV show, and the way he did it was simple and smart. This is Charles Ingram. He is a British Army major who enjoyed watching Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. One day, he got accepted to be on the show and made his way onto the stage. He easily knew the first few questions without much trouble, but as the questions got harder, he still somehow always chose the correct answer, even if it seemed like he was guessing. It looked like he didn't even know the answer, but he just randomly chose one, and it turned out to be right every time. He kept doing this until he reached the $1 million question, and he actually won the $1 million prize. The producer informed him that they would prepare the necessary documents and transfer the money to his bank account. But as the producer was rewatching the recordings, he started to feel suspicious about something. He noticed that Ingram consistently read all the possible answers 2 to 3 times before making his selection. Then he realized what was actually going on. Ingram's wife and a few friends were in the audience that night, and they had come up with a special plan. When Ingram read the possible answers out loud, if one of them knew the right answer, they would cough when he read the right answer. As a result, Charles Ingram never received his prize money. Instead, he was given a 20-month suspended prison sentence for fraud. This is the poorest president in the world. But why do people call him that? This is Jose Mujica. He is the former president of Uruguay. However, Jose didn't earn the title of the poorest president because he had a small salary. Instead, he chose to keep only 10% of his monthly salary of $12,500 for himself and donate the rest to charity organizations. That means he decided to give away 90% of his money to help others and only kept $1,250 a month. He thinks that this amount is enough to make a living because there are many people who have to manage with even less. Instead of living in a luxurious presidential palace, his home is a farmhouse with clotheslines in front and an overgrown garden. The security for his residence consists of just 2 police officers and an old dog named Manuela. His car, a VW Beetle from the 1980s, became so famous that he was offered $1 million for it in 2014, an offer he declined, explaining that he wouldn't be able to transport his dog anymore if he would sell his car. What do you think about him? Is he a poor or a rich man?
This woman won a lawsuit against NASA and came out ahead. In 2015, Nancy Carlton bought this bag for $995 at an auction. Nancy is a collector and space enthusiast and says that the bag was used during a space mission. To confirm its authenticity, Nancy decides to send the bag to NASA for an appraisal. But when the space agency's experts receive the bag, they can't believe their eyes. The bag turns out to be the one used by Neil Armstrong on the first mission to the moon in 1969, and astonishingly, it still holds traces of moon dust. In fact, it was mistaken for a much more ordinary bag and sold by mistake. NASA explains to Nancy that the bag belongs to the American people, and as such, it must be confiscated. However, Nancy decides not to let it happen, and fortunately, she is a lawyer. So she takes NASA to court, and after a year-long legal battle, Nancy won. The judge rules in her favor, mandating that NASA must return the bag to her. And Nancy even managed to sell it at auction for $1.8 million, 2 years after having bought it for less than $1,000. What's your opinion? Was the judge right to return the bag to Nancy, or did it belong in a museum? This couple bought a 250-year-old house, but what they found was something no one would have ever expected. After they had done some renovations to their newly purchased house, the couple found a secret space under the stairs. They soon realized that it was an entrance to a hidden basement that they hadn't known existed before. So they decided to check it out, not knowing what they would find. As they explored further, they uncovered an entire forgotten house, buried beneath the main one. It had been untouched for years, filled with debris and forgotten treasures. They also discovered a massive, forgotten fireplace. Surprisingly, even the person that owned the house before didn't know anything about the existence of this entire hidden area. Despite the rooms being in a bad condition with piles of debris and neglect all around, the couple saw potential. They chose to fix them up and include them as part of their home again. What would you have done if you found hidden rooms like this in your house?
This customer has gone viral after shocking shop workers by finding a credit card skimmer on a card machine in the store. Then, he removed the skimmer and started explaining its function and how it works to the confused store employees.
Here you guys, there's a skimmer on here.
You're gonna pay for that. There, don't do that. Don't do that, okay? Don't do that. Why? What happened?
This This is a skimmer. See that? A skimmer.
At first, the employees were confused, but later they realized how serious the situation was.
You see here? It's not broken. Yeah. Okay. It's a skimmer. This is how you. This is how you take people's money, get their credit card information. The scammer will put this on. People will use their credit card. It will capture their credit card information, and that's what happens.
So remember to be careful next time you want to buy something with your credit card.